Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove Case. Today we're taking a look at supposed events and rumours which have since been cleared up / debunked, supposedly, with the odd few screenshots and bits of material attached to tell a story, to provide that full perspective. Now, it might not be of everybody's satisfactory levels, and of course the comment section down below, you can leave your thoughts and responses there, and if you've got any additional questions, it can lead to further answers. But for those that are present during the live premiere, welcome. Share your thoughts in the live chat on the right hand side of the screen. I'm going to be shining light on one of the Reddit pages today, looking for it bit by bit, the bullet points, and I can add in my own reference and analysis, what I know of, what I can remember and seen too, and then go from there if necessary. I have seen this little thread, how it's been bullet pointed previously, but there wasn't a need to cover it then, just because I felt that if I give it some time, let it add up the list instead of keep going back to it. And then if it is updated in the future, anything else along the way, you can always refer back to it. So just to see where we're at within the case, and I can give you my analysis of the form of debunking stuff. Is it good? Is it bad? Does it equal progress or not always? And because with previous cases which I've covered, there's been forms of debunking there, quite a lot of it. And there are positives that come from it, but it can also open up big voids, and then people start questioning other stuff. It can have a chain effect, not always great, but it does need to be done at the end of the day, the form of debunking. If you are interested in recent coverage on this case by me, you'll be able to find the I symbol top right corner. And when you click on there, you'll find the full playlist and some loose videos too. If you want to support this channel, down below in the comment section, there'll be a pinned message by me with the PayPal link. Big shout out to Beauty Gurumo and Andrea in recent time for becoming a member on the channel. It appears that the membership link had worked last night successfully, which is good to know. I don't know why the previous ones did not. Maybe the links expire or no longer work. So every now and then I've just got to fetch the latest link. Who knows, maybe it's a glitch on YouTube. But if anyone else does have issues with membership, trying to join, just leave a comment down below, either in the live chat or the comment section, and I can follow it up. Next time I come across you, I can respond back with the link itself direct and then see if it works from there. With that being said, the order of how we'll do things today is go straight onto Reddit, look at the bullet points, read, analyse, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the matter. So let's begin. Here we are on the review page, and this was 1 month ago when it was created in the first place. And I guess maybe you can add to it over time, or at least it may be updated in the comment section. I'm actually doing it on online, not through the app, because the app is shite, as you know, because the screen rotation is non-existent. So that's why we've got the, how it looks today visually. There might be the odd link like the Autopsy, which I might refer back to briefly, might as well whilst we're here. But as it reads, Debunked Mega Thread by Golf Pro. As more items are added in the comment section, we will update this post, and obviously that's a good thing. So, in no particular order, no persons of interest. No one has been named a person of interest, including anyone who hosted or attended the party. Now, I guess we're regarding it in terms of what officials have done and how they've acted. Police have not labelled anyone. No one has been detained, arrested. People may have been interviewed. Cooperation may have occurred over time, but that's about it. Could some be considered witnesses? Maybe. I know I've used the term person of interest, and maybe officially that's not the case for anyone in the case itself, but I like to use person of interest because it's in relation to what qualifies someone a person of interest, such as location to where a crime, where a bad event happened, compared with the distance of an individual that may have seen or heard something nearby. Factors of knowing the individual, the victim, being close to them, what do you know about them and anyone else. Being in connection with anybody else who just happens to be a person of interest. You may have not been there, but you know channel connected through someone that was or knows you're the victim. So that's just how I word it myself, okay? But yeah, in terms of police, was it Noah Presgrove's family, one of the family members, or someone that said about no one's been ruled out? No one's been something like that. But that would be a bit reckless. Yeah, it couldn't have been a family member. Or if it was, it must have been earlier on. It's just because we saw a comment by Robin Smith where she said, they were told by police also, that 5 Texas boys have been cleared from the case. They've been cleared. So who else, what other party goers have been cleared from the case completely? I wonder. Anyway, the next piece that's been debunked: murder rumours. Noah Presgrove's death is not being investigated as a murder. Of course, people, outsiders would say, yes, not being treated as a murder at this moment in time. It could change in the future. Whilst bad actors online are pushing these harmful rumours, Noah's family wishes the rumours would stop. Well, from what we've seen from some of them, like Robin Smith, would wish for answers, for progression to be made, and partygoers to speak up, as if at this moment in time they're hiding stuff, they're not being open or public, or more so not being reaching out in the background. That's what Robin Smith said herself at a point in time. Who knows if it's changed or improved since. Another rumour debunked: fingers, as in Noah Presgrove's fingertips, fingers in general, were not shredded. And I'll tell you something. Yes, I said I may have not fully understood the autopsy, I may not understand all the fancy words and stuff, but when I saw it myself, the autopsy, it did not say anything about shredded fingers or shredded fingertips, but it had absolutely everything to do with the army page and maybe the case discussion page, where it kept being talked about, and then eventually it crossed over onto my channel with my viewers and what they heard and may have thought could be possible. And from day fucking one, Warlight Wrath was like, shredded fingers? What the hell's going on there? Yes, I tried looking at it from the point of view of if it did exist and if it was true, how could that link in with Noah's death? But in terms of when I saw the official documents, it did not mention shredded fingertips. And in a way, it might as well show it if it did exist, because it's only another injury and damage sustained to Noah, just like the other injuries and damage, which was on a more extreme level. So if you're going to show most of the injury report, you might as well show the rest as well. If there's some other sensitive information, material, possessions which were collected, found, and can't be listed on the official autopsy report, the public one, maybe there's exceptions there. But I was thinking, well, shredded fingers, why would you need to censor and hide that when you got the hinge, when you got the vertebrae breaks, you got the fractures, you got the scalp being torn? That sounds more extreme and more sensitive in a way, but that's shown public, so the tips might as well be too. Turns out it was just rumours. Now, whilst it's good in debunking stuff along the way, I think what should also be highlighted, if it's ever possible, is where did the rumours start from, and who by, and why exactly, and go from there. Does anyone know who started it about Noah's fingers being shredded? If you do, feel free to drop a comment name below, and we'll just see how things are, just see if there's a pattern and a trend. The next thing, call for a ride home. Specifically to do with Noah calling for a ride home. Not quite to do with Noah asking people at the party. That's still up for discussion because of what Caden Pressey witnessed himself. But it's mentioned that Victor Presgrove, and we've seen it ourselves, it's been documented on my channel. There will be a photo down below, screenshot in the comments, which we'll get to just to reinforce it once again. That Victor Presgrove, in more so recent time, and that's what makes it important, it's more fresh, has confirmed that Noah never called, reached out to him at the time for a pickup. Now, of course, from the outside perspective. We're just taking somebody's words for it. An individual that either witnessed or didn't witness something at the time. You'd hope to take their word for it as truth because it's the victim's family member, the father of all people. They should have nothing to hide. They should be honest, and it should be that simple and clear forwards. But of course, the way this case has gone, and others have been, I could understand if there was a level of skepticism or some saying, yeah, but we can only take their word for it. What about the actual phone records, the actual phone data, that type of stuff? Do we have it? Well, if you think about it, common sense would make you think, well, why not just look at Noah Presgrove's phone? Whether Victor has it or not doesn't matter. Look at Noah's phone. It shouldn't have been altered with since, or even at the time. Get a hold of it, which obviously that's been done. Analyse it, check for any clues, check for text messages, check for calls made outwards towards his father. And if there are any calls, well, then there we go. If there's no calls, well, then it's true what Victor says. It's really simple. And yes, okay, we've not seen the call logs ourselves, but maybe other family members have done. Maybe. So it's worth taking that into mind as well. The next one, shoes. Robin Smith, the aunt, confirms Noah had on one Hey Dude and one Adidas lace-up sneaker. I mean, I think for most part of it, we're quite in line with that concept. Maybe some people along the way had made a reference to Caden supposedly saying it was a pair of Hey Dude shoes. I don't remember witnessing that myself, but for most part of it, the shoe situation has been somewhat consistent. But of course, you got the deal with Jack Newton in that Parts in True Crime interview where Jack had said Noah had one shoe on, the other shoe was not on him. It was either nearby or missing. So that's weird. The shorts, the white shorts were not stated as being in pristine condition, but rather in the middle of the road with no tears, no stains. Dalen was given the black shorts back unwashed. And then I think after that, Dalen washed them himself and then realised he probably shouldn't have done. But then at the same time, if they've been handed back, then maybe not that important, depending. So yeah, the white shorts, I would say we need video footage. And if it does exist, good. And then when it can be shown public, even better. And then go from there. I will say that I do find it interesting that there's more damage supposedly to the black shorts, which were not involved supposedly, compared to the white shorts that were at the highway. And of course, you might get exceptions, and it might make sense due to the type of cause of death, but I just find it interesting, more damage to the black shorts. And of course, I only call it damage to the black shorts rips and tears from what partners in true crime said themselves, because they witnessed the black shorts in real life. But Alicia Lee was the one online, Caden's mum, to counter it and say, nope, that's incorrect. They're not shredded, they're not torn, they're not ripped. Okay then. So why is partners in true crime saying that there's damage to the black shorts and Alicia is saying that there's no damage to the black shorts? Who are you supposed to believe? Mention that in the comments. I want to know your thoughts about that. Shirt and wallet. Robin confirms his shirt was not cut up. Yeah. Noah's mom's boyfriend confirmed they have the shirt. Noah's wallet has not been found. Well, Noah's mom's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend randomly online, who supposedly is the boyfriend, but we don't know 100%, or, well, I don't know at least 100%, but that person claiming it online, saying, oh yeah, I've got Noah's shirt, and I also have a few other things as well passed on to me. But of course, even if that's all true, there is a severe breakdown in communication from, immediate family and then other extended family members, those that know and others that don't know. That's not good. That is really bad, to be honest. As for Noah's wallet, first of all, I'm guessing Noah brought his wallet down to him to the party. I mean, if you're just going to a house to visit someone and you're not going anywhere else in between, maybe you don't need to bring your wallet. But, it's over a course of days, you're coming and going to the odd shop, calling by town, and obviously, you probably do need it. and it's just by default, you take it with you automatic. But where could Noah's wallet be? Where would it have been at the time? Inside the house? In a field? Down the highway? And why has it not been found? Noah's phones, more than one. Robin confirms, I am the family, and no, he only had the iPhone on him, which was, I guess, the new one that he bought recently. The Android was at his nana's house where he lived. We couldn't locate it for a few weeks, but it finally turned up, and I myself turned it over to law enforcement. We still haven't gotten them back yet. Does that still apply as in right now? Interesting. Vehicle ejection, not ruled out. Robin said Trooper Wright, Zachary Wright, in quotes, did not feel that Noah randomly fell out of the back of a vehicle. This does not negate the fact that the death is being investigated as one that happened on the highway and involved a vehicle. That Zachary Wright did not feel that Noah randomly fell out of a vehicle. So basically it means that Noah could have fallen out of the back of a vehicle, but just not randomly, but more likely on purpose, or on purpose by someone pushing him. Is that how you would interpret it? It's interesting though, because I do remember Robin referring to about Zachary. Well, Zachary didn't say this or that, but based on what Jack Newton says, Jack said, well, Zachary told me that, there's a possibility that Noah could have fallen out of a vehicle. But maybe it's just the word randomly fell out. Maybe, to my memory, I don't think Jack said randomly fell out, just fell out. Carter Combs' phone. Carter Combs' phone was not wiped. She did not say she did not know Noah. She had a brand new phone, as hers was damaged in a wreck like a week or two before. She indicated she did not know Noah well enough to speak for his thoughts or actions. And I guess ever since, some from elsewhere really digged their teeth in regarding to Carter saying, well, I don't really know Noah that well. And then she says she does, and then she doesn't, then she does. All I've ever asked for was, where's the screenshots? Where's the evidence? Where's the proof to say Carter said she didn't know Noah that well? And I never got it. Maybe to some extent I didn't get it because those that were pushing a certain narrative didn't want to show the screenshots because they knew that if I got a hold of them, then my balance and reasoning ability would probably cancel it out, or at least put it into better perspective, which may have diminishing returns on them themselves. There's always that possibility. But let's not forget, Caden Pressey had said that, with those party goers, the regulars, the originals, about 8 or 9 of them, such as like Sunday morning breakfast, right? Those same said individuals, the party girls, the named individuals, what we're aware of, is that when it came to going down there to the party house on the Saturday, or depending on how you interpret it, the Friday, Caden Pressey, from the Partners in True Crime to the private police interview, kept like a 1 month difference. In the Partners in True Crime interview, Caden had said, these partygoers are my friends. We met some years ago in car parks, hanging out and drinking together, including the girls. But then in the police interview, Caden Pressey says, my first time coming down here to this house, or coming down to this house, my first time coming across those girls. So not Jasmine, but probably more so Logan, Carter and Avery, and maybe Jasmine. I'm not too sure about her, but you get what I'm saying. Caden says he's known them for years, but then in the other interview he says, it's my first time meeting them. So how does that make sense? I don't understand, personally. And as for Carter Combs' phone being wiped, and it was on blast repeatedly throughout the army page and the discussion page, and what I kept asking for was, where is the proof? You might be adamant, you might be passionate that that's the truth, that it has been wiped. Where's your evidence to support that as a fact? Does it come from Justin Roy's family of family, his members that were down at the house that witnessed Carter manually factory resetting her phone, or what? Because Justin by himself likely wouldn't know because he wasn't there. Some people would have to be present at the time to witness someone factory resetting their phone, correct? Yeah, so it's just problematic, personally. And once again, evidence just wasn't really provided. Well, I say a second party, there was not a party the following weekend at the girl's house. I believe Justin Roy said that there was a following party the weekend after. Caden Pressey also confirmed it as well. Even if there was a party the following weekend, would it be really suspicious? No. Could it be deemed a little insensitive? Yeah. What has been mentioned, though, was by Jan Fiorillo that a week beforehand there was a previous party there and it was supposedly reported to police. I don't know how true that is, but that's what Jan Fiorillo had said. You can leave your thoughts below. It continues to say they left the day Noah passed and did not return to the party house for 2 to 3 weeks. This rumour may have arisen because of other people having an underage drinking party near the school after Noah's death. Interesting. I mean, if you're talking about, I guess, general public spreading it about a following party the following weekend, well, if you heard it from what Justin Roy said in the interview, that's how you could get influence there. But more so, like Caden Pressey, what Caden Pressey said himself, there was a following party. Whether that be mentioned on the private police interview or parts in True Crime, it was mentioned in one of the two, at least. So you can understand how it could spread and how people could believe in it because, if you've looked up to Caden Pressey, you followed him and he's seen as a person of interest, even though not officially, because of being there at the party, and then onwards, just being a kind of a local or so, roughly, hearing about other stuff following on. Anyway, lie detector. Jack Newton did pass the lie detector test confirmed by Robin Smith. Who was the one that said it was inconclusive? I can't remember. It was mentioned though, inconclusive. Fishing. Jack and his dad did not go fishing that day. Chartered fishing trip was scheduled for a different weekend. Stevie Howard just got mixed up on that. Wait, really? But I'm sure. This is the only one that up to now I'm a little bit about. So it was scheduled for a different weekend. Okay then, so that text message, that text conversation of where Jack was saying to his father, can we reschedule where we will meet? We'll meet at the ramp at Warwicker Lake. Do you remember that? It was in a text message. And can you bring a hat? I've lost mine. Someone was messing with it. And that was on the day. So this is the only issue that I have here. Unless there was 2 lots of fishing trips. But, you saw the time, 5:53, Monday morning, 2023. What was that all about then? Weird. Truck/Jeep sold. Jack listed his truck for sale prior to the weekend of the 4th. Did not sell it immediately. Caden Pressey's Jeep Cherokee sold before Jack's truck. I think the reason why Jack listed his truck so he could get some money, funds to afford a boat for himself, but also take into consideration that the timing of when the supposed truck by Jack was listed, not long after Noah's death, how it was interpreted, at least in the past, even if that's the case, I know some could interpret that as, well, if you're moving it on quickly, trying to get rid of it, as in trying to get rid of key evidence which may have been involved in Noah's death or where he was, ended up at, all I would say is, even if it was listed as soon as possible, if it wasn't successfully sold within the next few hours or days, and in fact it took much longer, I don't know if it was March, or well, maybe not March, no, but it just took much longer to sell. And I remember Jack highlighting that in the Parts in True Crime interview, and the way I interpret that is, you sell it early, it could be considered suspicious that you're moving evidence on, but if no one's taking the offer up and you can't get it to sell quick, if you was trying to dispose or hide of it, you would just pull out and dispose of it yourself, or you try and sell it on in person with someone at a cheaper price. But there wasn't, there was a lack of urgency. And there's a lack of urgency, then there's not much room for worry, and likely it's not to do with evidence being removed. You're just waiting patiently for it to sell, so it's less suspicious. That's the way I interpreted it, at least. Highway cross. The cross that Jack put for Noah family in Terrell does not have anything of Noah's buried under it. Yes, this is ridiculous. Yeah, I do remember that. I did make a video about the theory, where, in regard to wherever it came from, the possibilities behind it. Would it be stupid? Is it ridiculous? Well, to some it could be considered ridiculous. In other ways, you may think it's not, because if you do it in such like an obvious place, but such a place where you wouldn't think to start digging up, because there's no real reason or need to, then you could get away with it. It depends how you look at it. Sometimes the easiest of things can be the most complex. And when you're trying to resolve, find something, you've probably end up thinking, it's got to be in a hard to reach place, like needle in a haystack. It's not going to be easy. And it's right under your nose all this time. That is just a bit of reasoning there. But besides that, we'll go to the comments now, as we see here, set to the latest, 15 days ago. Not important enough for the main post, but there is no official subreddit for this case. The older, largely inactive sub that claims to be actually kicked out Noah's family. And why would the main, bigger Reddit page of Noah Presgrove, which I was once active on, no longer because my posts get deleted, which is a bit silly, why would they be supposedly kicking Noah's family off the page? What good does that do? Seems counterproductive. Carter Combs' phone was not wiped, and she did not say she did not know Noah. Right. I guess there is a difference between not knowing someone and then not knowing someone that well based off certain factors and points. Okay, so I've just transitioned onto some of the photos a part of that comment section thread. No particular order, we'll just go through it bit by bit and then refer back to the rest of the comments. I tried just clicking on the photo itself online on the Reddit page, but it just was too zoomed in and I couldn't read it, so it's annoying. But what's mentioned here, I do have some questions, like, first of all, is this a screenshot of a post or a comment made on Facebook? And if so, what page is it on? Or where else does it come from? Certain names or stuff is blanked out, I guess, sensitive information, but if it's, posted publicly, well, then it shouldn't really need to be blanked. But it does say Carter Combs family member, and that family member may not be tied within this case and never has been. And I could understand steps made to not want to drag anybody else into the whole situation, because it could make some innocent person a target to collateral damage and more. So, whatever it says there, as in maybe somebody's name, Carter Combs' phone was purchased 2 weeks before Noah died, so it was a new phone and not wiped, and she didn't have everyone's phone numbers saved. I could understand that because, like, when I got a new phone in the past, you start off all over again. Maybe you can transfer previous data and contacts onto your new phone, or maybe you can't, or maybe you don't have time, or you forget. So it does make sense. Maybe people's mentality was someone or some people witnessed Carter's phone and it looked rather blank and empty, and then just assumed that, it must have been factory resetted, and then passed that news on to Justin, and then Justin rolled with it for a possible misunderstanding. Maybe. Anyway, but they didn't have everyone's phone numbers saved, so investigators thought that was weird. Which investigators? Carter Combs was in an auto accident on the 8th of the 14th, and her phone was destroyed in that accident on the 8th of the 14th. So she used an old phone of her mom's for a week or so until she went to Wichita and bought a new one. But her phone wasn't wiped clean, and I doubt investigators would tell family that information during an open investigation. Investigators asked Carter Combs, "How well do you know Noah?" She stated she had met him once briefly the year before at a party, and then recently started hanging out with him since she was dating his best friend Jack Newton, so maybe like 6 to 7 weeks. She didn't feel like that was enough time to judge someone's character, which is what investigators were asking. This interview with L.E. was recorded by her attorney and someone's name, not privy to copies of these interviews. Carter Combs has cooperated fully with the L.E. So you may not know this person that well, but well enough to be in the same room as them when Presgrove's having a wash. But I guess the mindset could be, well, I'm dating, Carter, at the time, Carter, dating Jack Newton. Jack introduces Noah to Carter, or Carter to Jack, to Noah. And it's like, well, because Jack's good enough, then I'm sure, those who associate themselves with others and connect with each other are good enough too, for me and for them. So I trust them, maybe. As I look at it. What else do we have? And then, of course, this one, February 7th, 2025 at 5:02 p.m. Quite recent, to be fair. Victor Presgrove, the father, says, "I've never seen these posts. What site are they on? And yes, something lied about me. There was never a call from Noah to me that night." Well, there we go. Is it good enough, this? Well, it's the father. And if Noah had called the father, then the father, Victor, should say, "Oh, he called me," or "he didn't." And if he didn't, then that should be enough. But do you need the phone records as well? It wouldn't hurt, would it? But if it can't be released because it's sensitive info, you just have the same level of patience and understanding, like with Caden pressing the phone pings, phone data, geophones, GeoNet over there. If that's on hold, this is on hold, everything's on hold. You just got to take people's words for it at times, and maybe it's not enough, but what else can you do? This post in particular, Tim Howard, I'm guessing this is from the Sofa Sleuth page. Clarification time. There was not a party in Terrell at Avery Howard's, Carter Combs, or Logan Jernigan's home, where they all lived at the time. The weekend after Noah's passing, it's truly baffling that people looking at you, Justin Roy, make bold claims without a shred of proof. Well, it's not just Justin Roy saying about that in Partisan True Crime. Caden Pressey said it himself individually. Okay? Let's apply some logic. If there had been a party, wouldn't there be at least some photos, videos, Snapchats floating around? The girls left the day of Noah's passing and didn't return for 2 to 3 weeks. As for the shop and parking area, they're used by various people, owners, farmers, employees, and hunters. So if vehicles were spotted, it's entirely possible they belonged to adults heading to the river on the ATVs, airboats, or horses. Maybe it was hired hands working cattle. Maybe it was just people doing, ranch things, and then it's blurred out at the end. I mean, yeah, could be possible. Yeah. So we've got that. And then what's this one? Presgrove, why has Ellie not given a press conference? I guess professional feed could be Noah's mom. I'm not, confident for certain, but I do remember this particular username popping up in the past, which may have been referenced on the Noah Presgrove main Reddit page. Not official, but the main one. And this is one of the Noah's family members who's no longer present, I guess. I had actually asked them to release some information to try and get these rumours to stop. And that's when they put out the press release stating it is not being investigated as a murder. It didn't help at all. It just created more rumours. So if it's true that this is Noah Presgrove's mom, Casey Smith, wanting rumours to stop, wanting to push so there could be a release by the police saying it's not being investigated as a murder, And then the general public, when they hear that from authorities, it's still not good enough. The next thing is, oh, well, because they said it's been ruled out, we should just go along with it. No, it means it's corruption. It means they've been paid off. It means they're turning a blind eye. No, it's still murder. Could it get to a point where people are just so convinced that it's murder that even if hard evidence, like really hard evidence was provided, which countered it and said it wasn't murder, it still wouldn't be enough for some people? Do you like when you get like a zombie horde that wants brains and flesh? That's all that's on their mind, even though the mind isn't quite there because they're a zombie. Who knows? This one. Oh, yeah, sorry. This must have been the same screenshot, but I did it zoomed out because the other one probably couldn't fit on the screen. So I'll have to make adjustments there with the edits. But yeah, basically the same thing, as you see. And then this one, same person, only one phone. The one he bought on Friday, iPhone, was at the party house. His other phone was located at his nana's house. So basically this is, I think, the mom debunking situation. And there we go there. So let's just return back to the comments. If we just scroll down to some of the responses or so, if I can get it to work. This person says, this is exactly what we want. Debunk it all, bit by bit. Facts that can be backed up versus rumour versus unknown. Edit to add. I just added this to the comment on recap of discrepancies, June versus July, Caden Pressey's timeline comparison and more. He has her statement. She said nothing wrong. Her statement was deliberately misconstrued to make it look like she was being untruthful. So no, she doesn't just lie. Why was this comment from her twisted to suit what some people wanted to hear when Caden's statement is still there, unexplained and unclarified? Why is it okay for him to say he didn't know Noah, but other people that say they didn't know or they didn't know to the same extent? That's looked into with a microscope, but with Caden it's not looked in with a microscope. But granted, when you got someone who's balanced, I did. You know, you have seen me. I am the one. But recap of discrepancies. Well, I don't know what that's to do with. Just take in mind that I was, well, in terms of on YouTube, I was the first one to do a heavily detailed comparison, map analysis, video timeline of the police interview with the parts in true crime interview and the discrepancies there, how it differed from one another. So there's that as well. It's very important. But I think maybe I keep making that mistake. The possible, parts in true crime part 2 interview where Caden Moe said about he didn't know those girls beforehand. He only came across them for the first time at that party. That might have been mentioned in the part 2, never released interview. Maybe. And what do we have here? Black shorts. Please feel free, anyone, to add or update what we know as fact. Noah was reported to have had on white gym shorts on Saturday night. Oh. Then black ones on Sunday. Wait, I mean, the footage, what I've seen, Noah was not wearing white gym shorts on Saturday. Noah was wearing more beige khaki shorts. That's a problem. Black shorts were washed by Dalen, confirmed by Robin. He was at that time unaware of the controversy about to unfold, and I'm sure in retrospect he wishes he hadn't washed them. Yes, I do remember that. There's so much more to add about these shorts. Really? From Robin, May 16th, 2024. So either this is a comment that may have been on Facebook or maybe from the People article, possibly. But it looks like it's copied and pasted word for word, in quotes. Robin says, the best friend's dad gave the original... the best friend's dad, so that would be Caleb Newton, gave the original black shorts to Noah's brother Dalen, and they passed out his shirt and hat. May 20th, 2024. The shorts were originally in the middle of the road. A party goer on scene picked them up and threw them in the bed of the truck, and that was Jack Newton. He said so himself when describing it on Parts in True Crime. one of the showers noticed this and told him to throw them back down. I'm just assuming here, but I think someone, maybe Ellie, placed them by Noah after that. Yeah, along the lines. June 9th, there's pictures of him on Sunday in the black shorts with writing all over him. Also, some of the party goers have claimed they were writing on him in reference to the black Sharpie mark on his torso on Sunday. So what he was written on Saturday, he may have also been written on the Sunday too. Hence why additional markers appeared elsewhere, maybe. I think I might have highlighted that myself previously. Is there anything that I need to acknowledge about? Some of the party goers have claimed they were pictures of him on Sunday. June 30th. The shorts were in the middle of the road. Party goer at the scene, now identified as Jack Newton, picked them up at some point and threw them in the back of his truck. Yeah. Then told the party goer to just drop them on the ground. They were later retrieved and folded and placed by Noah. Maybe the police probably should have just acted quick and said, no, you can't be moving them in the first place. Because when Jack moved him in the first place, was he wearing gloves or not? Because that could have contaminated it, even if it was accidental, still contaminated it. Golf Pro, Noah's death is not being investigated as a murder. His family wishes the rumours would stop. Then that one again, what we've seen before, for the screenshots. Yes, the fact that this was believed and spread so quickly is crazy. Do people not think that for a bunch of kids that are all under a microscope with every text and screenshot being dissected and their every move being watched, all whilst being called murderers, would throw a party the very next weekend, making them a target and a hotspot for vigilantism? Yeah, I guess. But how hot was it? Because, you know, when did these Facebook pages begin? And when it started to heat up? Because before the Facebook pages were created, would there have been the same level of intensity or what? You wouldn't have had the same coordinated conversations in the background, would you? Or call to arms. One crime at a time. Robin stated on 2nd of the 9th, 2025 that Trooper Wright shared with her he did not feel that Noah randomly fell out the back of a vehicle. Randomly, lacking a definite plan, purpose or pattern, made done or chosen random. Is that right? So that was just a few days ago. Interesting. Yeah. I'm sure I documented it at the time when it happened. I did like a video about it, whether that came from on YouTube in the live chat or on Facebook. It was one or the other. What's this one? The shoes. Please feel free, anyone, to add or update. From Robin, June 11, 2024. The Hey Dude and the Adidas were both on his feet when he was found. The shorts were in the middle of the road with no tears or no stains. Okay. Well, if that's true what Robin says, Hey Dude and Adidas were both on his feet when he was found, then why does Jack Newton say that Noah had one shoe on and then the other shoe was off his body and by the side of him? What's that all about? We need that clearing up. What else? He had one Hey Dude, one Adidas lace-up sneaker, shorts were in the middle of the road with no tears, no stains. Robin, May 21st, supposedly Noah left to walk 40 plus miles home without his phone, no shirt and someone else's shoe on. Wow, crazy. So Robin even suggested that then, supposedly. I mean, I know I did, but you know me, I just do my theory-based videos and that's it. Interesting. Impossible to add to this, Noah's other shoe has never been found, right? If someone has that info saved somewhere, I don't. Well, Robin has said that, and Ashley, that the shoe hasn't been returned, the wallet hasn't been returned, the hat, the shirt, and stuff like that. Even if others say it has been. There's a breakdown in communication, I guess. ATV side-by-side accident. Did it happen or not? Was it dangerous or not? Please feel free. From Robin, June 12th. They swear that it was just tipped on its side and that Noah wasn't hurt. Jasmine said one of the Texas boys got a busted lip, but that's it. She also told me that when she showered him, as in Noah, he did not have any head injuries, no scrapes, marks, nothing. But then two other kids told us different stories about who showered him, so I have no clue who's lying. Well, from what Caden Pressey said, who wasn't there to witness it at the time, but at a later point was showing video footage or a photo from video footage of the after effects, that Noah had a bloodied nose, a slight injury, which wasn't acknowledged by Carter Combs. He was there to witness Noah in the shower and helping him. So that's interesting. Bit all over the place. And then another person, whether it be Brooke or Stevie Howard or somebody else, can't fully remember, made a reference to Noah with more a busted lip rather than a busted nose. And in terms of Jack Newton is the one that said 5 to 6 passengers. And in recent time, Robin Smith said 5 Texas boys were cleared from the case. And I was just thinking, well, when you add it all up as for who was at the party at the time and who was asleep, who's left, who's remaining? Texas boys, guys, maybe those 5 fit the match of what Jack was roughly referring to. Maybe. Impossible. The clothing, please feel free. Okay, and the updates and whatnot. Widely believed at the early stage that Noah's hat had not been found. Several videos and posts were made about whether or not his hat has been disposed of at the casino down the road. That all came from the Partners in True Crime interview with Kathy Bingham, the private investigator. Kathy Bingham being the one to say that she interviewed a woman, a witness, that worked at the casino, and that woman witnessed 3 guys, at least one to be confirmed from the party, who had a hat that looked like Noah's. I did a video about it. That witness then reached out to me on YouTube publicly and said, I am a female, in capital letters, and mentioned about the situation, saying how, Warlike Raf, you twisted it, you got it wrong. The hat wasn't put in the bin, it was put on the bin. And the only reason why I worded it the way I did at the time is because of the way Kathy Bingham did. So when a witness that has been interviewed by Kathy Bingham tells me that I've got it wrong, I'm relaying what Kathy Bingham has said. So I think the witness needs to have a few words with Kathy Bingham. But ever since, it's fallen flat on its face. We've not heard much since. Disaster, pretty much. From Robin, May 16th. Best friend's dad. So Caleb Newton gives original black shorts. Right, okay. Okay. The shirt wasn't cut up, but his shirt, shorts and pants were given to various people. His wallet has not been found. Robin later corrected her mistake. Pants to hat. From Robin, May 21st. Supposedly Noah left. Okay, let's just copy and paste. The phone or phones. Okay, from Robin, May 20th. Only one phone, the one he, okay, the family member, no one, iPhone on him, I myself turned it back over to law enforcement, okay. And I myself turned it over to law enforcement, okay, so we've seen that. So it's like the quotes copied and pasted them with some screenshots of the original poster doing it. The shower, it's factual information. From Robin, May 16th, there was multiple stories about the shower. The CNA, what does that mean? And the best friend's girlfriend gave him the shower. One male party guest gave him the shower, with the birthday girl barging in once but leaving, and 2 male party guests gave him the shower. Which sounds like a complete mess, because at least what I was aware of, it was Jasmine Milan Carter Combs assisting Noah and helping him to make sure he didn't fall or slip when washing himself. And then at some point, one of Noah's best buddies, as Carter says, came on in and joined in for a shower and was laughing and messing about. And that's how it was worded, to what I remember. The teeth. From Robin, May 16th. His molars were broken, not his front teeth. His teeth weren't removed, his molars were broken. In regards to the rumour that Caleb Newton, Jack's dad, had them hidden in his pocket, we were told he had the teeth in his hand, not his pocket. He was looking at the ground and noticed something on the floor. He couldn't quite place it, so he went down to pick up. It was Noah's tooth. Okay, well, it makes sense. I know at the same time you shouldn't be touching anything. And why should it be allowed so close to the scene? That could be another point. From Robin, May 20th. As far as I know, the teeth were never in his pocket. He picked it up from the ground. Victor confirms. Yeah, we've seen that screenshot already. Of course, Noah's fingers weren't shredded, but it sure did sound interesting how it mentioned non-stop even after the ME report was released. Exactly. ME report apparently was full of errors, with armchair detectives using AI and coming up with all sorts of facts based on what crap they fed the AI engine. Oh my God, not AI. I cannot stand AI, the chat GP, whatever, and all the other AI chats in between. Ugh, cringe, just can't. Robin has tried numerous times to clear this up. From Robin, May 16th. His fingers weren't shredded to the bone. They were in bad shape, but not to the bone. Every now and then, I still see the odd person repeat this line. They're shredded to the bone. It's been debunked many times, and you're right. It was far more interesting feeding the SM. I don't know what that means. particular person who had chimed in back in May to provide personal experience with decomposition and elements to do with fingers and how shredded can be mistaken for outright decomposition at play and display of visitation. The worldwide motocross community might be outright shocked to find that some people involved in the Noah Presgrove case can have consciously and deliberately shared some morbid and illegal details for their own grotesque thrills. Okay. Now, can we get a hold of the autopsy? I don't know if it'll let me do it on the spot. Just got to try and find it first of all. Because it was like a URL link. Could it be this one? I guess so. Apologies if it doesn't fully show. I don't know if we're... Oh God, page 1 of 9. Honestly, I'm just going to have a quick brief scan over it. You can always pause it if you want, because I know we can always go back to this at another time, right? Transportation, injury, driver, passenger, pedestrian. So involved of transportation. Type of vehicle, other, which is unknown, meaning it's always possible that a vehicle, a car, pickup could have been somehow involved, but not absolutely guaranteed. The body viewed by medical examiners was at 1,300 hours. Let's just see. Injured or became ill at unknown the time. Location of death. Time found 6:18, which could well be the time when Jeremiah Wilson showed up, or Jimmy Williams just before that, a little bit before, around that time when police eventually arrived. Type of premises, autopsy lab, City, Oklahoma at 1,300 hours. Okay, fair enough. Description of body, arms, legs, complete. Posterior. By the way, I'm no expert with this, so I'm just briefly going over it. Manner of death, ticked as unknown. There we go. It's not ticked as accident, it's just considered unknown officially. So it's up for debate and back and forth. Report of autopsy, findings. I really hope there's no, all those words again, what I've got to try and read out. Oh, fuck, there is. Great. Multiple blunt force injuries, head and neck. A lot of detail there. I'm probably not going to read it because it's going to take too long. But, the important ones like the cervical, the neck fracture, C1, C2, C6, C7, very severe. And then you got pneumocephalus and bollocks, I can't pronounce that. Hemorrhage, basal skull fracture. Did I mention about the hinge? Subdural hemorrhage of approximately 20 millimeters, bilateral, hemorrhage, swelling. Cause of death, multiple blunt force injuries. Manner of death, undetermined. Multiple blunt force injuries. I guess that's just a thing that clicked in my head at the time. When I heard of multiple blunt force, I just thought beating. It's just the first thing that came to my head at the time. Findings, broad abrasions, upper back containing black material. It was more on the left-hand side, wasn't it? Yeah, left arm, left side of torso. So did Noah land on one side rather than the other, depending on the impact? Scraping along somehow. Hemopericardium, hemoperitoneum, bilateral scapular fractures, the ribs as well, damage, thoracic vertebral fractures, T1, T2, and onwards. In consideration of circumstances, toxicology result is due to multiple blunt force injuries. Found naked, wearing only a pair of shoes on the side of a highway, September 4th, 2023. No vehicle parts or debris observed. At the time, transpired on how the body was found on the road, having multiple blunt force injuries, unknown, undetermined. Circumstance, several. Then he rode an ATV Ranger vehicle with several men, so it could be the Texas guys that had rolled over. It was a lie following the incident, returned to the party where he got into an argument with his girlfriend. And that's what's weird. The official autopsy report states that Noah had returned to the party after the side-by-side rollover, had an argument with his girlfriend, and Noah's girlfriend wasn't even at the party at the time. That's shit, isn't it? What the hell's going on here? Does anyone know? Because I know you're supposed to have trust and faith in the official autopsy report, but when it states about Noah having a girlfriend at the party, even though we've not seen any of that or proof, I don't know what to think. Body received sealed. To do with the shorts, white printed shorts, no observable damage. White metal chain containing pieces, whether it be the full piece or not. Yeah. Okay. Of course, you can always pause the video yourself and read it if you want. But the important thing is here, at least to my knowledge from what I remember reading, is there was no mention whatsoever of shredded fingertips. And even when we looked at these like little diagrams, what people drew as for interpretations, none of that. So I don't know why anyone would be pushing shredded fingers in the first place. It just seems a bit reckless. 4-inch by 2-inch abraded avulsion laceration having a fish-like appearance upon the head and scalp area. Exposure of the bone, which is pretty serious, of course. I mean, what injury would have come first? The head one? If Noah was to fall out, head contact first with the ground and then landing and then rolling and then bumping and so on, injuries. Does anyone think like that? Temporal bone, hinge type fracture, extended to the left temporal bone, greater wing of the sphenoid, extended around the occipital bone. Okay. Black material upon the upper back. Abrasion shown combined linear, rare-sized pinpoint to irregular individual patterns. Soft tissue. Pneumothorax, 700 milliliters. Left pneumothorax. Hemopericardium, 150. Hemoperitorium, 200. Postmortem radiology revealed bilateral scapular fractures. Extremities. Anterior left knee, evidence of fractures. Organ weights. Oh, I don't remember this one, I don't think. Right. A lot of fancy words. Of course, I can imagine if I pronounce any of them wrong, I'm sure we'll get the odd expert in the background scolding me for it. Musculoskeletal. Genitourinary system. Is that it? Blood. 1 year. Notes. Alcohol, blood, 0.14. Vitreous, 0.18. Oh yeah, that was obviously an important one there. So, there you go. That was just a little recap there. Didn't see anything mentioned about the shredded tips, which was the main focus. The other thing, just to briefly add in, I would say to do with Anthony Linares and Caden Pressey, that first call that they had together, and then the reference of Justin Roy in the background, how they were like match made together just like that to communicate with one another on the spot. And it was a bit awkward, but trying to understand what's really going on there. But also towards the end of the call, Anthony Linares said, "Oh, we'll cover this up, or we'll cover it up," and then slipped on the words, laughed and said, "No, I mean, we'll cover it at some point," roughly re-quoted. And, when I listened to it at the time, the very first time, raw, did my eyes light up? Did I think, a cover-up? The police guy clearly slipped up then when speaking. Oh, no. No, I didn't see it that way. It is normal to mix your words up or to say the wrong word. This comes across as something else, a bit of a misunderstanding, but it was cleared up immediately. There was a little laugh. It was just a bit of a joke. Not a joke, but a bit of lightheartedness. Oh, shouldn't be saying that. It's kind of ironic, police guy saying cover up. Don't mean it in that way. It's not that deep. But, it can still be covered and acknowledged to an extent, of course, but you've also got to acknowledge, as with Caden Pressey and Anthony Linares, they don't know each other at the time, so A, cover up wouldn't even make any sense, because you don't know one another. You don't know if you should be covering up for that person or not, because you may be close to them, you may not be, you may never have seen them before. So why would you do extra favours for someone you don't actually know? It just wouldn't make much sense. But I guess online there was some big obsessions, and people kept saying, no, it meant cover up. It must be a cover up. It must be corruption. It has to be. Obviously, you can't get a slip of the tongue or like an accidental mess up. It's just not possible whatsoever. And now, the, I guess, counterpoint in regard to a possible slip of the tongue, depending how you look at it, and once or twice by Sarah Long, that said, once I got to the scene, and that was in one of her Facebook posts, the scene, which she was calling the party house. To call it the scene is weird because Noah was found at the highway. If it's true that the house is the scene, well then that would mean that's probably where Noah died, but then it would mean that he ended up on the highway, so foul play involved, moving of the body. So I don't know why Sarah Long classified it as the scene. Maybe it was a mistake with her words, but it wasn't cleared up. It wasn't corrected in the moment or later, or acknowledged. So that's when you look into it a little bit more. If it's corrected or cleared up immediately on the spot, a bit more conscious thinking going on. But then in fairness, you could say if you're not consciously thinking that clear, maybe it's a genuine mistake. But then when you add on another point made by Sarah Long at one point about giving a scenario about Noah being in a field, and if he had been moved, what, he'd be in a field, and then partygoers would have to be fumbling about trying to pick up all his teeth to then put them back in or somewhere to then dispose of them at the highway and do a clean job of a wheat field where you could be at with the loose teeth. And I was thinking, wait, why are we giving that scenario? Sounds very specific and precise. Do you know a bit more than others? What's going on there? That's the only other thing that I questioned, just because it just seemed like it was going into too much detail. I know you can give examples and scenarios, but when you go into too much detail, is it because you know a bit more? You got an idea? It's worth highlighting. But nevertheless, this was just a brief video to highlight the supposed stuff that's been debunked since, you know, with some screenshots attached too. Still, for some people, it might not be good enough, and that's okay. But I just wanted to do this video. I'll probably use a question mark in the title of the video just to, you know, be safe for the best. But just in general, the theme of debunking stuff is important. The positives from debunking things can mean making it clearer, the pathway, so you can move forwards clearer without being slowed down as much. And for others in time that come along, it won't slow them down. They can just keep on moving forwards. There will be times though where when you debunk a particular thing which has gone on for so long and people have believed in it for so long that once it is cleared up, it might seem like progression has gone backwards, because a lot of the progression has been built off lies and rumours that when you take that away, you kind of fall back to square one at the start at times. And that's like how it was with the Dylan Rounds case, to the point where people just didn't get excited anymore and were very cautious and skeptical because they've been let down so many times, the roller coaster effect. The same can apply here in the Noah Presgrove case to an extent, though not as much because there's not been as much breaking news over time or too many promises. It's just that rumours along the way and poor language communication, Chinese whispers from some places more than elsewhere, where it's come about through a misunderstanding. See, look at it this way, right? Whereas I might not have all the screenshots and evidence to say where it directly came from and who by exactly. Let's just base it off my own experience in recent time. Things being twisted, people not even bothering to listen to what I've got to say. I make it as clear as possible. There are transcripts, there are captions and subtitles as well in different languages that I've made it extremely clear. I use clear language and wording. I even talk really slow so people can really understand me. And after all of that effort that I put in, humans out there still fail to understand me and still get twisted, misinterpreted, go off on one, and then force a false narrative, a forced agenda against me. So if humans can be that incompetent against me, then it's very likely and very high the chances that those same said individuals could be responsible for all these rumours over time. See, at the end of the day, the reality is you combine a variety of different said named individuals based on their IQ, it would still not meet or match the levels of an avocado that's got more common sense. So with that being in mind, hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting. If you do want to support the channel, the PayPal link is down below. And if you want to catch up on recent coverage, symbol up there with the full playlist. If you want to hit the share button and the thumbs up, that'll be much appreciated. And we'll see what happens next. My name's Warlike Rare. Thanks for watching. Take care. Goodbye for now.